Hi, I'm Moira. I'm a speech and language pathologist and literacy specialist with Rooted in Language. Should you use a speech-to-print or print-to-speech approach to reading? What's the difference? And more importantly, does it matter? And this is a question we get all the time from parents and educators, so let's break it down. First, I want to be clear that as knowledge grows, it grows on the shoulders of prior knowledge. This discussion is not intended to vilify any one program, but rather to keep you aware of seminal research findings and how they inform how we teach literacy to kids, particularly struggling learners. There is also a bit of consensus that some strong learners will learn how to read no matter what we do or don't do in our teaching methods. But this is not the majority of learners, so we want to know what works best for all learners. The strong learners will simply fly through the process with ease, but the average learners and weak learners will thrive with the right approach. Simply put, a speech-to-print approach teaches students to connect the sounds they hear to the letters they see, also referred to as a phoneme-to-grapheme approach. Conversely, a print-to-speech approach teaches students a letter and then tells them what sounds the letter makes. A speech-to-print approach to reading might sound like, let's say the vowel sound E. The E sound can be shown with this vowel team, E-E. Here is a word with this sound, feet. Can you hear the E sound in feet? What letters show this sound? Let's underline those letters. Whereas a print-to-speech approach would sound like, let's look at this word, feet. The letters E-E make the E sound. When you see E-E, say the E sound. Wait. That doesn't seem very different, at all. Both approaches link the E sound to the E-E spelling, right? Here's the rub. As we progress along, the subtle difference in these approaches matters big time. Here's a better example. Here are 5 sounds called short vowel sounds. I, E, A, Ah. Let's feel how our mouth moves when we say these sounds. I, E, A, Ah. We are going to use these sounds in some words and practice saying these sounds as we write the letters. Every time we write these sounds, we are going to say them because the sound tells us what to write. Here is the letter A. This letter can make a lot of sounds. A, or Let's do flashcard drills so that every time you see this letter, you know the sounds it might say. I'll give you cues so that when you see this letter, you know what sound to say in our word drills. Okay, so students with strong phonological processing skills naturally store sounds. Imagine we have drawers in our heads, like a dresser. And these drawers help us sort and recall spelling options for a given sound with relative ease. For example, the short I sound drawer contains the spellings I and Y, which can both say I. The long I sound drawer contains the vowel teams IE, IE broken, IGH, and the single letters I and Y. The Rooted in Language vowel chart encourages students to store vowels by usage, which is sound. Sorting, storing, and retrieving sound-to-letter connections is très efficient, much like the efficiency of storing your clothing in drawers. We don't store our clothing by how it looks, which is analogous to a letter. A letter is essentially how a sound looks in print. Rather, we store our clothes by usage and function. Let's tease out this metaphor. We store shirts of any fabric or color in a shirt drawer. Socks of any length or style go in a sock drawer, hopefully linked in pairs, much like vowel teams. Shorts go in one drawer while pants go in another, much like short and long vowel sounds. Students with inherently weak phonological processing skills try to store sounds by letter recognition patterns, or in other words, by how they look. So the letter O, for instance, ends up in an inefficient pile of potential sound connections. Short ah, ow, oi, long O and its many spelling patterns containing the letter O, such as OA or OW, as well as double O, which can say oo as in moon or as in book. So storing sounds and spelling patterns by letter instead of by sound is highly inefficient. The equivalent of throwing all of one's clothing into a big pile in the middle of the floor and then quickly trying to locate and produce a specific shirt or pair of socks. At Rooted in Language, we teach from sound to letter, from speech to print. We consistently have students engage in activities to promote storing vowels by sound, and we also promote connecting sounds to spelling patterns every time we have students say sounds as they write. Now, is this a matter of philosophy or science? Well, research, as shown in countless fMRI studies, supports the need for speech to print, aka sound-based instruction. First, we know that children ages 0 to 5 years develop an oral language system, hearing and speaking sounds, which is housed in the left hemisphere of the brain. Then, literacy skills are built on top of the oral language system in the same left hemisphere and repurposing the same systems. Therefore, what is known as the reading brain is intimately connected to sound. Meaning is also intimately connected to sound. The words we hear and say are composed of a series of sounds. When we learn to read, our phonological sound system connects to our semantic word meaning system. Second, our brains store information in what is called the letterbox region, an area of the left hemisphere that connects our phonological system, sounds, to the newly developed orthographic system, letters. In brand new readers, the phonological system is initially the first one activated. But as the letterbox develops in that left hemisphere, the sound to letter connections become more automatic and the two systems start to activate simultaneously. Sound is the gateway to literacy, not letters. Third, strong readers and weak readers do not develop the same set of skills. Children with strong phonological systems organize their learning by sound in the left hemisphere. And children without strong phonological systems do not activate their sound systems with the same robustness and consequently do not build the same strong reading brain. Struggling readers and writers often recruit atypical areas of the brain using less effective and more tiresome strategies. And they will persist on this path unless provided with explicit systematic instruction that engages multiple language regions. This is why phonological processing exercises are a critical aspect of literacy instruction for the struggling learner. Lastly, researchers continue to study our ability to develop that fast and automatic word recognition and spelling skills, revealing that we must map the sounds we hear onto the spellings we see. This fast mapping is key to our reading fluency, efficient comprehension, and spelling. At Rooted in Language, we incorporate the speech-to-print approach into all of our online classes and instructional materials. And if you use other literacy programs, be sure you know and understand this subtle but important difference between speech-to-print and print-to-speech instruction. Determine if a given teaching method will interfere with your students' ability to use sound efficiently. We hope to empower you to think critically about the literacy materials and methods you use.